Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the next episode of The Snake's Den. I am your host with the most, the snake with no coat in the cold, slithering on his way down. That was a very bad intro. But welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. How's everybody doing? We got a special guest today. His name is Eric. Everybody say hello, including Eric.
So what's up, man? What are we discussing today?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm actually
say what's
doing
up.
good.
How are you?
Feeling good, man.
It's a long time. He bailed last week. He was supposed to be on, and then he decided not to come. So,
man,
somehow we were able to get him this week.
Hey, I said I was gonna come, but fuck, I was just busy last week.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of important stuff to talk about. I don't really want to get into too much of what's totally going on for obvious reasons, but there's a lot of protesting going on. 100 feet from where I live, there was a big one in Scottsdale. Just massive amount of damage. Cops everywhere. Tear gas was not good. What do you think? What are you thinking about all this craziness right now? Like, what are we doing?
The way I see it, man, look. It was because most of the videos that I've been seeing about the riots and all that, because I don't really like to watch TV and watch the news, so I get my information through social media. And there was this one thing that I saw, man. It was crazy. It said, "This world has too many Malcolms and not enough Martins." You know.
I saw that quote. I like that quote. I mean, they both had their protests. Like, both of those guys were very important for different reasons. Like, you know? Like, they each had their side. One was a peaceful, one was a not so peaceful. But it was important in their own aspects. My thing is like, what's going on at the malls, it almost just seems like what does that have anything to do with anything?
Yeah.
That's my thing. And then I heard someone say, oh, the big corporations got a stimulus check, so that's why, or whatever. I don't know if people know how business works. They still get that money, and the insurance they've been paying for is going to pay for the damages. I mean, so if that is the reason why, I mean, it didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. So it's just destruction and chaos happening for no reason.
Yeah.
But like you said, this guy always says things that has like crazy... It makes you think. He always has these things that'll make you think. And there's one thing he said that made me think, and I feel like it has a lot to do with today, is even the devil has its miracles. Right? And I find that interesting.
Well, you know what, man? The thing that really, what really made me like about that, the idea of the devil having his miracles is like something positive coming out of something very bad, like a very dark situation.
Exactly.
Like, say what happened with, George Floyd. You know, I mean, that's sad, but like, what if
it was intense?
What if it's this tragedy that, ends up saving all of us,
That's what, exactly. Like, that devil has its miracles could totally fit into what happened here. Something terrible happened. Disgusting. Couldn't even watch the video. Absolutely horrendous. But this kind of seems like the incident that'll change everything. Forever. Hopefully. Because I've never seen so many people come together on one topic before.
Yeah. And
we were so divided, 2 weeks ago? We were divided on almost everything. And this happened, which is highly unfortunate, but like you said, it could lead to a miracle. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy,
Yeah, it's crazy to think that it only takes one death to really start changing everything.
Yeah, I mean, but that wasn't...
But
I couldn't believe
not just one. There's more, of course, on top of that. But,
but this one specifically. I was thinking that too, though, because there's videos online of all this happening over and over again. There's tons of stuff that's been taken.
And it's nationwide,
Yeah,
too,
exactly. But this specific one has really got to people.
Yeah.
It was so bad, though, ridiculous. So I could see why everybody's pissed. But the looting, the protesting is perfectly fine, but the looting, I mean, it's got to stop.
Yeah. Nah, I saw a video earlier today, man, of a shop owner of a mom and pop spot, local type business.
Yeah.
This man, he's black as well, and he came out and he was yelling at his at people along the street that he came out of the ghetto to make his life, and it was all taken from him in one night.
Yeah.
Because his shop was destroyed and robbed completely.
See, that's the part that doesn't make sense. Like, is why somebody would do that and think, oh, this is right, eye for an eye. It's like, what are you talking about? You just destroyed somebody's building that had nothing to do with any of this. That's the part where it just gets confusing. But before I want to kind of get off this subject because it is touchy, and we all know that it was completely wrong, and we stand with everybody that protests. But let's just stop the violent protests. But one thing that we were talking about earlier that's kind of crazy, right before the podcast, we were talking about Epstein. Now, I know Epstein his documentary's kind of blowing up on
Rich.
Netflix. Have you seen it?
Man, that documentary, bro.
Dude.
I'm going to be real with you. That's really fucking gross.
Bro. They have a lot of info on that Netflix documentary, though. That's why I was like, how is this guy not arrested? This dude was arrested for child trafficking in procuring of a minor. I'm not sure what that means. In 2015, for a whole year. And he had a work release where he was out of jail for like 16 hours of the day and then just went to jail for a night and then came out and... Oh, it's crazy. Probation officer saying he never followed any rules. He was flying all over the place. Like, how is he not arrested?
Well, it's because when you have that kind of money, dude, you have that kind of freedom.
Yeah. In the Netflix documentary, one of the guys said, he goes like, the probation officer's like, hey, are you guys going to do anything? I mean, he cited Jeffrey Epstein 61 times violating probation. And so he finally goes up to somebody. He's like, are you guys going to do anything? And the lady goes, what would you like us to do? He's a celebrity. Literally said that.
Yeah, he's...
like he's touching little kids, like little girls. Like, what are you talking about?
He's like a political celebrity. That's what he was. I mean, that dude...
I mean, he just had power ties. Like you said, like, how are you going to arrest a guy who's friends with Bill Clinton? How are you going to, like... somebody's going to call down to that police station and say, release this guy. Someone highly important.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's like,
And that, you know what, man? It's crazy that can be done because, in the government, as they say, they have the separation of powers, right?
Yeah.
So that no one branch is too strong. But then how is it that people, if like anybody in one of those branches could call into the police and say, hey, have this man released, and whatever it is, this guy did something. But, like, how is it that their word is above justice,
Well, that's just not how society works anymore. It's if you're a celebrity, you don't go to jail. I mean, how many times have we seen NFL players beat a chick and just get suspended from the NFL? Like, it's you don't go to jail. Or they're just getting suspended. It's like, what the fuck? This dude beat this chick in an elevator, threw her down like a rag doll. Well, 6-game suspension. I think that'll be good enough. And then they have the audacity to complain about that punishment. I'm like, bro, you should be licking ass in jail right now.
Yeah.
You're
you got off pretty free.
Yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
Because you had the money to get the lawyer and everything.
Yeah. And I don't know. That whole thing's a mess. But yeah, the Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, when you're a celebrity, you get whatever you want.
Yeah, money talks and you get to walk.
There you go. Money talks, you get to walk. I mean, do you think he got murdered? Or do you think he killed himself?
I'm going to be real with you. I don't think he killed himself. I don't believe that one for a second.
I don't know how anybody could.
There's two ideas that I have about that. Is that either one of his cellmates got him or something like that.
Have you seen his cellmate?
Who was it?
You've never seen his
I've never seen his cellmate.
I have to pull this up. I'll pull it up for the people watching as well.
No, like what does he look like? Like, is he big or what?
Is he big? He's 6'5", 250 pounds of steroid muscle. He's an Italian gangbanger. He used to be a cop. Look at this guy.
What?
Yes. He used to be a cop, this guy, and he ended up running drugs and killing people. Basically turned rogue. He's this huge ass Italian guy.
So he went on.
This is who they stuck him with.
Killing,
I'll put it up right now.
Killing who? Like, what kind of people was he killing?
I don't know that guy's
like, was
story.
He killing?
I just know he killed people.
Oh,
I
damn.
don't
No,
know who he
I'm
killed.
thinking.
I'm sorry,
thinking,
that's not enough.
No, it's because I was thinking, like, man, this guy went rogue, started killing criminals. He's like real life Punisher.
Well, see, my thing is I think they set him up with that guy on purpose because he was touching kids, and they were thinking, he'll fuck him up.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I do believe.
Look at this man. That was his cellmate.
Yo.
What's his name? See, he was an ex-cop.
Man,
that was when he was a cop. Dude, he's huge. He's disgustingly big.
And then he's put in the same cell with that old bastard.
Same cell with that guy. And then Jeffrey Epstein's over here looking like a fucking bag of potato chips. Oh man.
Looking like he did get caught with his pants down.
So the other, oh my god, if that guy rapes you,
oh damn.
Oh that trauma's heading into the next life. I mean,
that
dude.
And if it's not that, I mean, come on, an ex-cop. I mean, the dude has like training and shit.
The dude probably has a
They
daughter
probably
as well,
set him up with that guy on purpose, or that cop was paid to get put in there, dude.
I'm confused though because they said he hung himself, but I'm not sure. Was that guy in the cell at that time? I don't think he was. Like
maybe he could have hung him up himself, strapped him up. I mean, as I said,
Dude,
they're trying to make it look like a suicide, so that nobody gets pinned with it. It's like, oh, this guy, his cellmate killed him. It's like,
let's see. He has one of the Clintons on. Bill Clinton flew with this guy 26 times, and apparently every time you fly with this guy, you're getting sex from an underage woman. And this guy flew 26 times with him. So of course he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Of course he's gonna die. Like he had to have known he's gonna die.
I mean, even people in prison have a shred of dignity.
Yeah. I guess the Jelaine girl, which was his wife / assistant, she's out. She's gone somewhere. She's nowhere to be found. So,
really?
Yeah.
So you think? I'm pretty sure she knew.
Are you kidding?
She knew it all.
It's ridiculous.
Yo, that's crazy. But like, the more you see, like when you find out about big political pedophiles like that, man.
Yeah.
They have like their own cults and stuff, right? Like some straight up
Jimmy
eyes
Seville?
wide shut parties. No, what is that? Wait.
Jimmy Seville? Have you heard about Jimmy Seville? If you haven't heard about Jimmy Seville, go check out that guy. So in London, now all of this is confirmed. In London, he had this TV show, kind of like Mr. Rogers. His name was Jimmy Seville, I think. I looked it up. Jimmy Seville. And he had like a Mr. Rogers TV show.
Was he?
And he was... Dude, even worse. He was touching kids, right? Even worse. They're saying he was fucking dead bodies. They were saying that he was killing these little kids and that the Queen knew he was supplying these kids with all these high top-end people. And do you know what's crazy?
What?
Is it ties in with Epstein. Because Prince, whatever his face...
Oh, Prince Andrew.
Andrew was friends with Epstein, but he's also tied with this Jimmy Seville guy in the UK. So, I mean, how many... It's like Chipotle. How many times does it need to give you Ebola or E. coli before you stop eating there? How many incidents are you going to have to see the Prince guy in with these little girls before you go, maybe he's touching little girls? Like, when is that going to come about? But yeah, Jimmy Savile. This story is, I'm telling you, absolutely insane. He was a English media personality. He was on the board of National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Now, that's one thing that I noticed about all these guys. They help out these kids that have been raped, have had terrible childhoods, traumatic situations.
Yeah.
To recruit them. So it's almost like whenever you see these guys near helping out these people. It's usually because they're recruiting them because they're all fucked up in the head.
Well, yeah, as it said, most dudes who know about that kind of trade, they can sort of pick up somebody like just by an eye, you know.
Oh yeah, totally.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, their
man.
ages range from 5 years old to 75 that were abused by this Jimmy Savile.
75?
He didn't give a fuck. You were old as ice or old as dirt. Old as ice. You were old
Anyway.
as dirt, and this dude would touch it.
Oh fuck.
No, I don't know, but this world's going to shambles right now. I mean, it's obvious.
Well, it's because, you know what, man? It's because of the way that the world is right now. I mean, whatever it is, I mean, it's like we can't really escape it either, you know? So like we're stuck with it. Is that something? Like no matter what it is, what's going on in the world, we can't leave it because I mean we're stuck on this planet. All this crazy stuff that's going on. I mean, as I said, if we can't leave it, we gotta deal with it, man. Some way, somehow, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. It's almost like you have to go through the chaos.
Yeah.
You know, just to get to that
Mm-hmm.
simple. I don't know. I don't know how you're gonna fix any of this. How are you gonna stop people from touching little kids? How are you gonna stop cops from doing what they're doing? How are you gonna do this? I mean, how are you gonna do it?
Well, you know what, man?
Where do you start?
I don't think what it is. I don't think it. Human nature is that there's always gonna be bad people, no matter what. I mean, that's the truth of life. But what we can do is we can start, you know, doing a little bit of reform. You know, like as I said earlier with the whole thing with the police.
Well, have you ever had any incident? I know you're being not white. Like, have you ever had like an incident? Like, have you been like?
Not by police officers.
No?
Not by police officers. By normal people for sure.
Yeah, there's assholes.
Yeah.
Out there, you know, regardless. But I mean,
like directly
a cop,
from police.
like directly from a police, like pulled over for no reason type deal. Like, has that ever happened to you?
Oh yeah, that did happen to me once here, but it wasn't like I didn't think nothing of it because the dude wasn't super aggressive about it.
No,
or anything.
yeah.
But it was a cop. He stopped me and he asked me, I asked him what am I being stopped for, and he said I ran your plates and it's showing that your insurance isn't there, which was weird because I did have insurance on my car. So I got out, you know, my stuff, you know, registration, everything else, and I showed him my insurance card, and it was still active. Like I was like my insurance was still active, but he said it wasn't. It just wasn't showing up in our database. It's like,
What?
aren't you cops though? Like, don't you guys keep this information when I go to the DMV and all that?
That's hard, man. I was thinking about that today. Now, I haven't had the best luck with police in my life. But not in a bad way. Like, I've done dumb
viewers
stuff.
know why.
No, I've done dumb stuff. But what I'm thinking is like, we have to understand, like, these cops are dealing with people every day. Imagine going up to a car, you have no idea what's inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's got to be nerve-wracking. So immediately you're on edge. And then systematically, these guys are trained. Systematic racism is real. That shit's been around forever. So think about, you're a cop, you walk up to a car that has an African American male in it. They're almost trained to think badly already. That's the issue, in my eyes. But what I was getting at is like, they have so much paperwork, so many things going through. If your paperwork does not get filed properly and they pull you over, they're seeing it on their end that it's not filed properly. You know you filed it. Mm-hmm. They can't just believe you because that's like their job. Like, people lie to them nonstop. So it's like this circle of craziness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just hope we can get this all figured out, and I hope that it could stop. Oh gosh, it could stop all the rioting and all this false. I mean, we gotta understand there's two sides to this. Not every cop's bad. But
Yeah,
what we
for sure.
do know is that this stuff happens, and I mean that is terrible, terrible.
Yeah.
And I mean what they're doing now is the most I've ever seen anyone do with all the posts. I mean we are all in this right now, which is awesome.
And that's the thing about it, dude, is like, you know what? And it's not even like black versus white either. It's more like white, brown, and black versus blue. You know, versus the government as it is.
Exactly.
Because you know what? I think what more. I mean, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it was a white guy. It was a white cop who killed a black guy. I mean, there could be something going on right there, but I'm not gonna get into it. What I am not happy to see, but more or less like I'm glad to see that is the way it is. Is that, like as I said, black, white, and brown coming together because of this stuff that's happening. As I said to you the other day, man. I mean, each of us are the fingers to the one hand. We all may look different, but we're all essential to society.
100%. I mean, I've never been raised in that way. Like I'm a West Coast boy. Like out here, we're all pretty well mixed.
Arizona's the West Coast?
Hell yeah! What the hell
No,
do you
it's
mean?
not. Hey, bro, I'm from California. Arizona is not the West Coast.
Arizona is 100% the West Coast.
No, y'all live by.
We're not on the coast, so I'm sorry.
You're the West for sure, but you ain't the. Man,
I
the
see
West
what you're
Coast
saying.
dog.
Whatever. But over on the west side of the country's always been a little more melting potish to me, I guess. I feel like the East Coast had a lot of that racial tension. You got a lot of racial tension. I mean, you hear stories, the South and the East. I mean, those two, it's usually the North and the West that have always been kind of, come on in, you know what I mean? Like, but the South is still very bad. And then even the East Coast, like, it's not verbal. It's not verbal racism. Like, I had a girl that I knew.
I mean, don't we technically live in the South?
No, bro. No.
Yeah, Arizona was part of the South.
You should not talk about geography. Arizona is the Southwest.
Yeah, but it was a southern.
South,
it was a southern state.
No, we're not the South. South is like Georgia. You know what I mean? Like I think Texas, Houston, like those South, Alabama, Missouri. That's what you think when you think South, you know what I mean? Not Arizona.
Yeah, but Arizona wasn't Arizona like, part of like the Confederacy back in the day and all that, during the Civil War?
I have no idea about that.
All I know I haven't studied history in a while.
All I know is I've had African American friends, Asian friends, Mexican friends ever since I was like 5 years old. Like I don't know, like I've always been like. But that's how I was raised. So you got people that are becoming police officers that may have been raised differently. And that's the issue. So maybe we need a little more strict guidelines to become police officers. Maybe that's just the bottom line.
I've studied it because I said I kind of had an interest in it. And they do test you. They try to see like what kind of person you are. But what I think it is, man, they need to be a little bit more stringent.
Okay, so I had an acting class, and a girl in there was a retired cop. And what she told me, what the issue is like in Phoenix, for example. It's a big area. There's a lot of crime happening. There's not a big amount of people trying to become a police officer. So they take everybody in. It doesn't matter. And you get a gun. You know what I mean? So you're getting people... Hey, try not to miss. You get a bunch of people that, it's like, they're not meant to hold a gun and face it at somebody. That's not what was in the cards for their life, was to have a gun in their hand, face it at somebody, and make the right choice. That wasn't in their cards.
Yeah.
Just like this guy was not the right fit guy to be holding somebody down. Like, he didn't have the ability to just look down and go, okay, he's not getting away. Let me just slide my knee back, relieve some of this pressure, I have him down. Like, that right there should be done almost because, like, in your heart, you're like, I'm hurting this guy. Like, I don't want to hurt this guy. But he obviously wanted to hurt that guy. People like that should not be accepted into the police force.
Yeah, I
But how
think
do you
they
get in?
need to screen their officers better.
They need to do a psychology. I was thinking about this other day. If you're a police officer and you read this, check this out, or you see this podcast, you need to give them like a visual screening. Like if me and you went up to become police officers, they each give us like a screening, like a photos.
Yeah.
This is what I was thinking. Have like a photo of just like an area with people eating, blah blah blah, people that, and you put people of different race throughout the picture, and you let this one person study it, and you just study it, and then you ask them what they see about it. That would be the best way to psychologically see how this person thinks about certain things. If you give everyone like the same type of picture and then just ask them their thoughts about it, you'll start to see who the psychos are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something like that. Something like very crazy.
Yeah.
But like the girl said, there's too much crime and not enough people wanting to fight for that crime. They have to just accept people.
And you know what else I think it is? I think what policing, like police forces needed, is to be more strict. Like how not strict, I mean, but more disciplined, like how the military is.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows that it's not as disciplined in there as like if you were to go into the Marines or to the Navy. You know?
Can't just sign up for the Marines. Like there's a hardcore test. Like you can sign up, but you might not get accepted to like that front line stuff.
Yeah.
There's a psychological test that's made. There's like all these tests that are made.
See, I was thinking something like that. Give police officers more discipline so that they know to make the right choices.
I mean, that's not a more apparent than ever. Then I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a video that had a whole bunch of. It was like just a montage of different cops messing with African Americans. I mean, it was insane. I mean, it was 15 minutes of all over the country, different things happening.
Yeah.
Granted, you don't get to see the stories about what happened before each one.
You just see them right in the middle of it.
You just see right in the middle of all the worst shit, so you got to take it with a grain of salt, but, I mean, there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
There is a lot.
A lot of false information running around, too.
Yeah, so today's a Blackout Tuesday, and people are telling other people not to post just the black picture in support because it takes away from other protests and news. But I'm like, look, we know what's going on. We know there's a bunch of protests.
Yeah.
We don't need to keep seeing it. Obviously we do. Like, it needs to be in our face.
It needs to be out there.
But don't tell us to not support in this way just because, like, I understand what's going on out there. Every time I look on the news, there's hundreds of people surrounded by police protesting George Floyd. I understand what is going on. But some people want to support in a different way. You should let them do that.
No, actually, I heard, I think it was this morning or yesterday morning, another man was killed. He was shot by, what was it, the National Guard.
Was it during all these protest things going on?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing or anything like that, but I just know that he was killed by National Guard.
Well, I was looking at stats today. Cops are getting shot and mugged at a freaking staggering rate right now. I mean, all over. It was like Louisville, St. Louis, Brooklyn. Really? I mean, all these cops are getting raided by people at these protests and shot. In New York, there was 4 cops shot. In Louisville, 2 cops shot. I mean, this is getting crazy.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, you got to understand, man, is that, like, people are frustrated as well, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because whatever it is, whatever the status quo was, it wasn't right.
Yeah. And honestly, this is terrible and crazy. But like people are saying, like, trying to talk is over. How many times have they asked to stop doing this?
Hey, think about Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick
took a knee, and what happened?
They complained. They said, you're not allowed to protest that.
Yep, and what did they do?
Granted, I see what they're saying.
They kicked him out of football, dude.
Yeah. I see what they're saying, though, bro. Like, I hate to say this, but in the NFL, I get that's your platform, but that's like us trying to all of a sudden protest in the middle of work at a restaurant. It's work. Like, they're going to have a problem with you doing that at work.
Yeah.
So I hate when people go, why aren't you letting them protest on the field? Because that's technically at work, and they're getting paid an extraordinary amount of money to do that job. I kind of agree. Do your job. You're making all that money. If not, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll go do your job for that money. But use your voice and power. Just not right in the middle
of the platform out there.
Yeah, just right after even, during the interviews, or right before during press conferences or whatever. Definitely. Mid-game?
Yeah, I mean, I understand, because, like, at the end of the day, I mean, it's still a business, you know?
Still business,
you gotta
dude.
run, and you
still
got a business
work,
to
man.
run.
Still at work. And if you do want to protest and do that, well, that's what the NFL said. All right, we'll fire you, we'll get new people. I mean, this is a job. So I kind of understand what they're saying there, but much respect to Kaepernick for risking all that money for a cause, which most people would not have done. And that's what makes it so special in my eyes,
No, that dude is cool.
Dude, he gave up millions of dollars for what he believed in. And now, look at where we're at. No one wanted to listen to him. Now we're on fire. So.
Oh, well, everybody has a breaking point. You can only push people so far.
I'm with you, man.
And fear doesn't create peace.
No, it doesn't.
And I remember this movie. Did you ever watch V for Vendetta?
Nah.
No, it's a great movie, man. It's kind of like about what's happening right. Well, a little bit different, but kind of like what's happening right now.
Yeah.
One of the main character right there, he says, "It is not the people that should be afraid of the government. It should be the governments that are afraid of its people."
Hey, the last thing they want, the one thing I heard, we got to wrap this podcast up here. But the one thing that I heard, which that just reminded me of, is you're not going to get the government's attention by going to their front door and throwing rocks at it. That's what they know you're going to do. But if you get together and you get together unified off in the corner and you're whispering to each other and you're not telling them what you're doing, then they're going to start paying attention. Then they'll start paying attention. They know you're going to go tear up the mall. They don't give a shit. It's what insurance is for, like I just explained in the beginning.
So
they
what are you
pay
saying,
insurance, then? The insurance is going to fix it. They still get the stimulus bill. But let's say we all stopped doing violent protest and we all just started meeting together and talking about it.
And what, like have a revolution or what?
Freaked out. I guarantee they start getting freaked out. You think the government's worried about a bunch of people around? At any moment, they come out with those tanks and those machine guns and helicopters and blow us all to hell.
Yeah.
At any moment. You think they're afraid of us? No. But if all of a sudden they can't attack us because we're not attacking them, but we're still unified in a corner making ideas and plans without them, without their consent, without doing our own thing to progress ourselves, then they're going to get worried. Then they're going to be like, what are they talking about over there? Shouldn't they be throwing shit at our windows? Why are they just quiet over there? You know what I mean? Like, that is like, you can't just attack every time something goes wrong. Like, they know that's what you're going to do. There has to be a different way to approach it, That's just what I've been thinking, like, you need to try something else to get their attention.
Maybe. But sometimes you need action, though.
I mean, how many riots have there been in the last 100 years? And how much has changed? Apparently nothing. So, time to switch it up.
So what are you saying, man? Like, have a revolution or what?
Exactly.
Really?
But revolution isn't walking around the streets of a corporation with a sign that says, for George Floyd. It's not a revolution. They understand we're upset. Doesn't mean in a year they're going to forget about all this shit that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we have to change within ourselves together without them. And then they'll start to listen. Because then they're like, whoa, wait a minute. What's going on? Why aren't you guys destroying shit? That's what they want, bro. That's how they get laws passed. That's how they get curfews on. That's how they get to use their fucking gas bombs and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, well, who knows, man? Who knows what might happen? Hey, June just what is this? June, right? June just arrived, man. Who knows what's gonna happen next?
Right.
Damn.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for joining
No, yeah,
us.
for sure, man.
Hopefully you're staying safe out there, my man.
Oh yeah, of course.
You enjoyed the snake's den?
No, it wasn't that bad, man.
You like it?
Yeah.
Ah.
No, I like talking, as I said.
Nice, man. Nice. I like your thoughts and everything. But I appreciate it. Everybody, stay tuned. Eric, thank you again, buddy.
No, yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you. Don't touch me, bro. Corona.
Big Ronin. Fuck.
Yeah, call you Big Rona. All right.
Anyway.
Thank you, everybody. Take care. And we're out.